Welcome back. To a large degree, the game that you hunt, the area that you're in, your physical limitations and everything is going to determine what features are important to you in a survival air rifle. And you also have to make some assumptions. My assumption is that there can only be one. Now, I have many rifles, but I wanted to be able to define one that I'm going to use in a survival situation. The Beeman R9 won this contest hands down. So, one of them, what type of game are you going to hunt? Small game? That's squirrels, rabbits, doves, pigeons. Are you going to go for something a little bit bigger, the next tier up? Maybe possum, raccoons, maybe even you might have to deal with coyotes on your homestead if you live like I do. I live out in the middle of nowhere. I live in a very rural area. So what I want to talk about today is what features are important to you. If you read any description of any product really that has any kind of value, you're going to see a list a mile long of features. Most of them aren't really going to be a benefit for everyone, but they're trying to sell it to everyone. So let's talk about, for me, what the 12 most important features of an air rifle are for this particular use case, which is survival. First, I have to have iron sights. And once again, you got to keep in mind, your mileage may vary. Other people don't like iron sights. Some people aren't going to see these features as important on mine. For me, I have to have iron sights. I'm not going to carry extra scopes with me, and even if I did carry extra scopes with me, if I even zero a scope, take it off, put this scope back on, and then go and try to trust that scope's zero, that's not going to work. I mean, think about what you're going to carry with you when you're hunting. If I'm hunting and I'm actually out stalking or whatever, the biggest thing I'm going to be carrying is this haversack right here. This has everything that I need. It's going to have my rangefinder, a knife, something to put the game in. If it's not in my pockets, on my body, or in this haversack, it's not going. So I'm not going to carry torque wrenches and toolkits and all sorts of stuff. So for me, I have to have iron sights. If this scope dies in the middle of a hunt, I take off this mount and I'm back in the game. No problem. And also keep in mind, these 12 are in no specific order of importance, because what's important to me may not be important to you. So, how quiet is it? I don't want anything that goes supersonic. And I honestly don't want to carry or maintain several different inventories of ammunition of different weights. I know that this and most of my weapons shoot the Barracuda, the 18.52 grain Barracudas, the Hunter Extremes, quite well. Good enough for me to trust them. I don't want to keep a bunch of slugs and everything else. So that's important to me. So it has to be quiet. And this Beeman has gotten quieter over time as the spring in it has starting to break in. It's definitely become a better rifle over time. And I've got about 300 pellets through this right now, maybe 350. Okay, weight. What's important to me for weight is not what's going to be important to maybe you. Maybe you have some physical limitations that keep you from wanting to carry a heavy rifle. So that's definitely a consideration. For me, I want it heavier because it absorbs more of the shock and it makes it less hold sensitive. My Dianas are more hold sensitive than this, quite a bit more. But this is a little bit heavier. It's probably, I think it feels like it's about a pound heavier. I haven't weighed it. But yeah, very important if you've got a problem, if you've got back problems and you're trying to thinking about traipsing through the woods for 5 miles carrying this, you might want it to be lighter. You might want to go for something like the Gamma, which is much lighter. Okay, it has to be self-contained for me. I know a lot of you guys want to carry PCPs. More power to you. I love PCPs. Not busting on them at all. They're easy to shoot. They're efficient. They're quiet. Most of them don't have iron sights, so that would definitely exclude them for me. But I have a PCP that has iron sights. I have an old Benjamin Discovery. It's got iron sights, and it shoots quite well with them. But it does require that I carry additional stuff. So whether it's a foot pump, or whether it's an extra air tank or a compressor, it just doesn't matter to me. If it doesn't fit in this bag, at the most, because this is the biggest thing that I'm going to carry when I'm out actually stalking, this is the only thing that's going to leave my hunting camp. It's just a red flag. It is a disqualifier. Okay, so hopefully these videos, and I have more, but hopefully these videos are bringing you some value and giving you some things to think about. And if it's helping you out at all, if you're learning anything, go ahead and subscribe. There are going to be a lot more of these videos coming. And I want to help you guys out a lot if I can. And I've been doing this for, wow, 50 years now. And hopefully some of this wisdom will help somebody. And hopefully I can learn something from some of you guys. I've been looking in the comments from the last video, and man, a lot of you guys have a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom. So let's keep it going, guys. Okay, so energy, foot-pounds of energy. I think velocity and foot-pounds of energy get an awful lot of press. And it's kind of undeserved, in my opinion. A proper shot placement is going to forgive an awful lot of sin with regard to foot-pounds of energy. If you crack a squirrel in the skull, or even a raccoon with 6 foot-pounds of energy, it's going down. It's not going to move. It's going to die. So your mileage may vary. Now, I can tell you that I've downed a hog with a 17, just a 177 Gamma Whisper, an old first generation. And you smack it in the head, it goes down. It just starts doing a dance on the ground, and it's never going anywhere again. It's dead. So that didn't have a whole lot of energy, didn't have any velocity. That thing was probably about half shot out by the time I went on that hunt. So if it's walking around, it has a skull. If you shoot them in the skull, they're going down. So I don't care how much energy it has. Like I said before, we're not hunting Cape buffalo here. The biggest thing I'm going to see here is probably a hog. I'm in Missouri, so I don't hunt bear, and I'm not going to go looking for them. The biggest thing I'm going to have is probably a hog or a white-tailed deer. I'm probably not going to shoot a white-tailed deer with this either. But I just have much better options for that. Okay, accuracy. This is important to everybody. But what level of accuracy do you really want? What's important? How far? What is the range of your typical hunts? I can tell you with a Springer, the range of my typical hunt is maximum probably about 35 yards. I'll go farther with a PCP, probably 55, 60 yards, but that's a completely different thing. So I want to be able to hit at least a quarter at 35 yards. And this Beeman will most certainly fill that need, but most of my rifles will, if they're paired well with ammunition. But you may have different requirements, and that's great. So if you need it to be more accurate than that, more power to you. If you can get away with a little less accuracy because you're hunting a little bit bigger game, I can understand that too. Just keep in mind that you want to pick a hunting range that's where the pellet's going to have enough energy when it hits that head or the vitals to actually do its damage and take a clean kill. Let's be ethical. Okay, so next is ammo sensitivity. This Beeman will shoot these Hunter Extremes very well. It'll also shoot my Crossman Premier 14.3 grain very well. It's a little bit different zero, not much different, but it makes a difference. Yeah, if you have a rifle that will only shoot one pellet, and all of a sudden you can't get those pellets anymore, you might have a problem. I try to keep a couple thousand pellets around for my preferred ammunition for my guns, and I've definitely got the Crossman Premiers. I've got a lot of those. To a less degree, I have these Barracudas, the Hunter Extremes. I'm going to be ordering more, but your mileage may vary on that as well. You may find your rifle may shoot JSBs better, or a specific grain weight. Make sure that you have plenty of those, and make sure that your rifle will shoot other ones acceptably well. It's going to shoot one much better than the others, but as long as it's acceptably well at your hunting range and still has the energy to do its dirty work when it hits that target, you're good to go. And that goes to the ammo availability. It has to be an ammunition that's available. You have to be able to get it, and for survival purposes, you should be able to stockpile it. You should be able to stockpile at least a couple thousand of them. So, trigger. This Record trigger is probably the nicest airgun trigger I've ever used, and it got nothing but better with use. This is important to me. I'm kind of a trigger snob. Most of my powder burning hunting rifles have Timney triggers, or one of them, believe I have a Jewel in one of my 6.5 Creedmoors. But this is an excellent trigger. I don't like sloppy triggers. I don't want it to break like a corn cob. You know, when you pull it and you're squeezing and squeezing and squeezing through that first stage, and then you're leaning up against the wall in the second stage, and you're just thinking, did I forget to take this thing off safe? You don't want that. But especially with regard to small game, they move. It's what they do. I mean, you think about a squirrel, for instance, or a rabbit. They're food for everything. Everything. Every bird, every crow, every hawk, everything on the ground wants to eat a squirrel. So, go ahead and just make sure that if it's not important to you, figure out why not. Because I'm going to tell you, the trigger makes all the difference in the world for everything else. At least to me, this is really, it's got to be in the top 5. When I have a bad trigger on a rifle, I either ditch that rifle or I fix the trigger. And I've done that too. My Benjamin Trail NP, I had to spend like $5 on some little radio-controlled car bearings to actually fix the trigger on that because it was terrible. But it was a completely different rifle after that. Never had to touch it again. Okay, fit. This is important. The rifle has to fit. It has to have the right length of pull. It has to be the right length. Like a Beeman R7 probably wouldn't be right for me because I would be too bunched up. You have to be able to get down, and you have to be able to put yourself behind the scope. And all your angles matter when we're talking about something like this, where we're talking about a hunting rifle. So, your size and your dynamics and your joint mobility, and I know I've noticed that a lot of my viewers are my age or older, and And that's good because it's silver survival. There's a reason for that. Not that younger people can't enjoy and watch, but I try to approach things from the over 40 perspective. I'm 60 years old now. So I know about limitations. I know about joint pain. That's going to be important for you. So make sure that a rifle fits you when you buy it. Durability. This goes without saying, but the rifle has to be durable. It has to be built well, made out of durable materials. Not so much the finish because, you know, I mean, you can just take anything and spray paint it, and it's now durable to the weather. But I want my stuff to be durable in that I don't constantly have to repair it. I don't have parts wearing out. I don't have a bunch of plastic everywhere that's going to wear out when I can't buy parts for it. So it has to be really a high quality air rifle. Materials. This one is pretty big for some people. A lot of people prefer a polymer stock. I can see that. I can. I get it. I like wood. I don't mind that it's going to get rained on once in a while. You know, I'll take this thing off occasionally to clean it anyway. And if it gets really super wet and water's going down in here and you know, the stock is starting to swell or something like that, I'm going to take it out and dry it anyway. I typically keep my stocks conditioned with Johnson Paste Wax. If I'm going to be out on a hunt during a rainy season, which we haven't had here in a long time, but if I'm expecting a lot of rain, I'll probably use a beeswax solution that I make out of mineral spirits. So we use mineral spirits, boiled linseed oil, and beeswax, and I mix that all together over heat, and then I'll wipe everything down with that, and that tends to keep my wood stocks pretty nice. Almost all my guns have wooden stocks, and that's important to me. I like the feel of wood. I don't like the feel of polymer, but I do get why some people would really like it. Okay, so if I've missed anything, I want to hear it. These are the 12 that are the most important to me. I'd like to hear what to add to this list or what's important to you. And that's going to be it for today. And we'll see you next time.